This is the Brownstone Center News Update for Thursday, June 19th, Juneteenth Day, 2025. Let's get into some news and information we can use, shall we? Already on edge over potential threats to their jobs from artificial intelligence, thousands of Amazon employees are being ordered to relocate closer to their managers, according to Bloomberg reports. This often means moving to a hub like Seattle or Arlington, Virginia, rather than working out of a nearby satellite office, as many have done since Amazon required employees to return to the office. A spokesperson says it's not a policy change, but an ongoing effort to help them be as effective as possible. Guggenheim Partners CEO Mark Walter is set to buy a majority stake in the Los Angeles Lakers from the Buss family in a deal that values the NBA franchise at around $10 billion, according to multiple source outlets. The deal, first reported by ESPN, would be the largest acquisition in U.S. professional sports history, topping the $6.1 billion sale of the rival Celtics in March. The Lakers have been owned by the same family since Jerry Buss acquired the team in 1979. Key Social Security trust funds could hit budget shortfalls sooner than expected, according to a report from the Social Security Board of Trustees. The combined funds, covering old age and disability recipients, will no longer have enough reserves to pay full benefits and administrative costs by 2034, a year earlier than projected previously. That would mean only 81% of scheduled benefits would be payable at that point, unless Congress bolsters the program's coffers. Thursday, June 19th, is Juneteenth Day, a national holiday marking the date in 1865 when the last enslaved Americans learned they'd been freed by the signing of the Emancipation Proclamation 2 years earlier. But many celebrations will be quieter this year as companies scale back their DEI programs amid political and financial pressures, according to the Associated Press. More than a dozen corporate sponsors have backed out of Denver's Juneteenth Music Festival, according to the event's leader, while a major San Diego celebration lost $25,000 in federal funding. The Food and Drug Administration has approved a twice-yearly injection for preventing HIV, an alternative to daily pills that's been hailed as a, quote, breakthrough. In international trials, the shot developed by Gilead Sciences provided near total protection from HIV, which infects an estimated 1.3 million people per year worldwide. The drug will be sold under the name Yeztugo at an annual list price of $28,218 and will compete with an every other month shot by GSK-owned Viv Healthcare. The price for shipping insurance in the Persian Gulf has risen 60% in response to the conflict between Israel and Iran, with a smaller increase in the Red Sea, according to CNBC. Insurers are now charging 0.2% of a ship's value, up from 0.125% before hostilities actually began. Some ships have chosen to avoid the Strait of Hormuz between Iran and Oman, a key route through which a fifth of the world's oil passes. Even temporary detours there can raise global energy prices and slow the supply chain. A listeria outbreak linked to meals sold at Walmart and Kroger has killed at least 3 people, according to the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention. Another 17 more in a dozen states fell ill between July 2024 and May of this year. One person lost a pregnancy as a result. Maker Fresh Realm recalled the chicken fettuccine Alfredo meals nationwide earlier this week. They're sold in stores under the Market Side and Home Chef brand names. A SpaceX Starship rocket exploded on the test stand late Wednesday in Texas, igniting a massive fireball and delivering the latest setback to CEO Elon Musk's troubled business empire. SpaceX holds roughly $4 billion in contracts with NASA to send astronauts to the moon using Starship, but this is the 4th straight test to end in an explosion. Musk also faces fallout from declining Tesla sales, as well as the public feud with President Donald Trump. Credit card companies are relying on America's richest households to drive growth as most Americans are beginning to pull back on spending. JP Morgan Chase raised the annual fee on its Sapphire Reserve card this week, and American Express teased major changes coming to its Platinum card that will reportedly come with an increased annual fee. The news reflects a stark new reality. The wealthiest 10% of U.S. households, those who earn over $250,000 annually, now make up half of the nation's consumer spending. 9 European Union countries have called on the European Commission to come up with proposals on how to discontinue EU trade with Israeli settlements in the occupied Palestinian territories, according to a letter seen by Reuters on Thursday. The letter, addressed to EU Foreign Policy Chief Kaja Kallas, was signed by foreign ministers from Belgium, Finland, Ireland, Luxembourg, Poland, Portugal, Slovenia, Spain, and Sweden. President Donald Trump's sweeping immigration policies have made their way to the White House lawn on Wednesday when he stopped to ask workers who helped install massive flagpoles at 1600 Pennsylvania Avenue about their immigration status. The remarks, appearing to be made in jest, came after a reporter asked the president about his administration's deportation efforts. He in kind stated, "We're taking them out by the thousands, murderers, drug dealers, people that are mentally insane from insane asylums." Trump began before turning to the row of hard hat working construction workers standing behind him during the press conference. "Do we have anyone here who's a member of—" "No, I don't think so." Hundreds of people, some clutching candles or carrying flowers, to lay in front of a memorial gathered outside Minnesota's Capitol yesterday for a vigil to remember a prominent state lawmaker and her husband who were gunned down at their home. As a brass quintet from the Minnesota Orchestra played, Governor Tim Walz wiped away tears and comforted attendees at the gathering for former House Speaker Melissa Hortman and her husband, Mark, who were killed early Saturday in the northern Minneapolis suburbs. An Iranian missile has slammed into the main hospital in southern Israel early this morning, wounding several people, causing significant damage, and drawing a swift vow from Israeli leaders of intensified attacks on Iran's military and government targets. Israel chief accused Iran of war crimes and said its supreme leader, Ayatollah Ali Khamenei, would be held accountable. Israeli media aired video of blown-out windows and heavy black smoke pouring from upper floors of the Soroka Medical Center, but a spokesperson for the facility said there were no serious injuries to patients or staff. For more news and information that you can always use, you can head over to brownstoneworldwide.com. Check out Cityscape Radio for sounds you'll remember as well as podcasts you'll enjoy. And don't forget, Brownstone Living Magazine is available, the free digital version, at brownstoneworldwide.com. Follow us on all things social media, Brownstone Worldwide, and on Substack for journalistic commentary and content at the Brownstone Brief. We'll see you around.
Welcome to the neighborhood.